Today, we shall discuss the resource repository. Today, we will discuss the resource repository in the context of eliminating material poverty from our society. We will hit this from the angle of the relationship between homeowners and poverty. One of the ways we can remove a manifestation, or at least alleviate the manifestation and optical relationship of poverty and home ownership, is through the funding of infinite home resources to every individual in our society. And this is the goal of the resource repository, right? The resource repository will have a section of home. I don't know what the category would be, because it's technically a lot of categories, right? There's like furniture, there's like, right, the complete set of categorical materials of things that are in a home. We at the resource repository, follow us at Resource Repository New York City at Instagram, will ensure that this municipality structure of the future, right, collects, right, all the resources of this city. Just like there is the infrastructure for our garbage, that they throw out the garbage every Tuesday, and if the system comes to pick it up, well, we need the same material infrastructure and we'll make it available to homeowners so they can lower the price to be able to fix their homes, right? And that will alleviate the optical, right, the burden to homeowners and I guess landlords or whatever, right, things, right, or maintaining your home or whatnot, right? With the resource repository in its full capacity, right, there could be an ecosystem between, imagine an ecosystem where all of these construction companies, big and small, right, the 100 trillion of them, right, had a certain layer of the resource repository where all of the stuff they threw out, right, they're like, oh, we're going to throw out a bunch of these bricks, we're going to throw out a bunch of these panels, we're going to throw out a bunch of these windows, right, for whatever reason, right? Imagine there was a place where they, instead of dumping it, right, it went into the repository where all of the other people from that ecosystem, right, are also putting stuff in and taking stuff out, right? And now imagine homeowners had access, right, to that layer, or the layers of the other thousands of layers of our society and their ecosystem we create, right, where we take the useful things they're going to throw out, right, and place it in the repository, right? Now imagine, right, if to be able to fix your home, right, the parts cost at many contexts, unless it's like, you know, you just can't find it, right, the repository doesn't have it, right, it's zero. Imagine if that cost is zero, right? Imagine if the construction companies, right, they're like, ah, shit, we need like 50 of these bricks last second. Resource repository, right? What is there? How would that change how would that affect their pricing? You understand? Right? And these homeowners can't complain when people are on their ass, right, about like having shitty home conditions, right? Like, oh, shitty home conditions, oh, super expensive to replace these things. They're like, okay, well, we have a repository of the 30 trillion pipes that got thrown out last year for the 30 million companies and government excess surplus and just people bought and threw out or stole or whatever that the city collected into the repository, and it is available for the city, for your business, for you, for whatever, right? So it's like, come on, you could have, I highly doubt there's no excuse. You should have fixed that fucking pipe. It would have been zero, it would have been free 99, right? Now there's doubly no excuse, right? It's like, oh, there's doubly, right? And everybody wins, right? And then will we have poor neighborhoods, right? Because poor neighborhoods are just as much a function of optics and resources, right? Than it is like their actual value, or like how much the people that live in that area actually make, right? Even though there is like a relationship that is like kind of forced there with like taxes and value or whatever, that's a whole other thing, right? Like, would they be rundown places, right? I think that we, right, with the resource repository, right, that manifestation of that material poverty, right, will be alleviated. It will cease to exist, right? It is really only that way because you wanted it to be that way. You wanted that shit to look like shit, right? Right, I'm sorry, right?
Donnie inspecting broken floor tiles in an apartment on Clarkson Avenue in Prospect Leverett Garden.
Now, this is the importance of the resource repository, and this is why I ask you to join me. Follow us at the Resource Repository, New York City. Come see our wares, see the repository, donate any things that you want to make use of or can't make use of, right? Right, it is time that we create the infrastructure for the municipality system of the future. It is time that we remove the concept of material poverty, right? We're in 2026, okay? There's whatever you need. 30,000 people kind of already bought it and they threw it out, right? And there was no system to be like, oh, right, let's just hold that, right? It is time, right? That is the only way we can hit our larger goals, right? Reducing carbon emissions, right? Right? You don't necessarily need to ship that same thing 100,000 times over from the other side of the planet, right? You can maybe get it free 99, or, right, we uphold the second-hand economy, right? We create the infrastructure to re-uphold and lift the second-hand, right? The The right, oh, that's another thing, the right to repair economy, right? Because they're missing that infrastructure, right? We have it half-assed. Like right now we have like the tech people helped us a little bit where they created the software, right? Where if you can hold it for as long as you want or resell it, right? But that only takes you so far, right? That takes you so far. Like most people be like, I'm done. Like I'm tired of these people trying to scam me, or I tried, just throw it out, right? They need, right, for that ecosystem to evolve to what it really should be, right? For the reseller, the repairer community to evolve, right? They need the structure, the material structure, the institutional structure. They need the resource repository, baby. That's what we need, right? Right, to save the fucking planet, right? To remove poverty, to big up the city, right? All of our other institutions, right? Like, we love thrift stores, right? They will be much better, right? Because they will be able to pick from the 100 trillion shirts that got thrown out, right? Resellers, we will have the best resellers in the world, right? Because they can pick from the 100 trillion shoes, right? All sorts of historical art analysis people will pull up to see the collection, right? Tech engineers, product engineers, be like, yeah, there was this type of shit that was created in 1980, right? That had a very specific design. We lost the pattern to. Would you happen to have that thing somewhere in the repository? Go ahead, have at it, Haas, right? We are the municipality of the future, and it shall cost us nothing. I ask you to join me. Follow the resource repository, New York City. Lend me your strength. Let us give this world the institutions that they deserve, or at least some of them. Most of them are disgusting. Me and myself included. Listen, join me.